What's up, Treehouse Tribe? Welcome back to another episode of the things I do on EggmanEvents.com. We had another regional this weekend, EX07 still, but the booster boxes first, their first Digimon online regional, where get top 16 gets their invite, top 8 gets their Omnimons. Happened last weekend, last Saturday, 2 days ago from the day of posting this. It was live streamed thanks to Tessero and Hong. Hong, I think, was running production, and Tessero passenger princessing. that's not a hate comment. That's all I've done ever. So that's just kind of naming it what it is. But they did a great job. It was very fun to watch. I hope to see them do more. I hope to see more people, more of the YouTube community do more, like other YouTubers. That'd be sick. I think that's a really cool place to be right now. So at the bottom we have the link to the live stream, and all our data this time around, at least the archetype breakdown is all, and the deck list really, are all provided by Eagle Exe. Does the weekly Eagle Exe webcam tournament, so check him out, check all his stuff out. He commentates it every week. So if this is Monday, I think he does it on Monday, so sign up if you're watching this early, or watch it if you're watching it late. Whatever. So thanks to him for the breakdown. We get to know how many exactly Imperials, 382 people, so only 62 Imperials. Like, that sounds like a lot, but like, what is that? 1/6 is 60, so like 1/6, 1/5, somewhere in there of the, of the field is, so somewhere between what, 20 to somewhere between, yes, like we'll say 20% of the field, just to keep my life easy. Please don't hate me, it's not technically right. But around close to 20% of the field was Imperial. Not a crazy, I don't think that's like a crazy amount, right? Looking at the pie chart. I will say, when you count that it's almost double Ancient Guru, and you have only like the same amount of representation, it does make Imperial a little overrepresented in terms of like its success rate to its conversion rate, right? So that's a very interesting talking point, I think, to think about is, maybe people are slowly moving away from Imperial. It's hard to tell because this is the first real event that we get, at least on Eggman events, that we get the full pie chart like this. I think Eagle Exe has done a few videos now talking about the full but yeah, no, it's worth, maybe it's been like, it would be interesting to see if like Imperial's been on the decline. Again, huge shout outs to Eagle Exe to do this. It's a lot of effort. It is so much effort to do this kind of data, especially for a game like Digimon. It's not as easy as One Piece, especially with the way how we get our data. So it just, give him like subscribe, a comment, like, share, whatever on his end. It's all linked at the bottom. His channel, please give him. This takes a lot of work. This takes so much work. Like, I can't talk about it enough. Anyway, Fenrir actually takes first place. Congrats, Popcorn Possums, for being one of the first Lugamons to win something. I feel like it's really hard, like the deck kind of tops, but it's hard to see it win. On top of that, IDBW. Taking runner-up with Purple Base Dexteruga, but like, we still have, what is this, 9 decks? Yeah, 9 decks in our top 16. Still a pretty healthy topping scenario. I think the huge shout-outs to, if you guys, I hope they post the video, but huge shout-outs to DigiGuard United. One of their players topped with a pretty, I don't want to spill the spice, I guess, but it was a really interesting deck. If they post their own video about it, they got 18th place, and it was a really cool list. Hopefully they post a video on it. Go check them out. It was really cool. It's cool to see something unique do well, right? And they got their invite because of pass downs and stuff. But anyway, let's go into the list. I yapped for too long. It's unfortunate we don't see any Omnimon stopping, but I've already yapped for too long. We'll talk about the list as we get there. Getting talked about our most interesting list, I would say, most unique list of the day in terms of top 16. We have Ancient Greymon, Peter, username Peter, funny enough. I relate to doing that. Ancient Greymon, kind of Marcus-y Greymon, just like hybrid Greymon, like I don't even know what to call it. But you guys see it on the screen. We're running good old, memory setter Marcus with the Agumons that turn Marcus into a Digimon. Just a whole Agumon bottom end, the Agumon start a main phase if you have a tie. go into a Greymon, so you can go into the secret Greymon for free, which is really good. It does its stuff. Playing a smorgasbord of ties to go with it. These two tie, you know, the little tie to allow you to play the Kari or this tie after 1 or 2 uses of this effect. Lu, because Lu is just, you know, it's Agumon Rush sometimes. You could easily like promote an Agumon, one of these less savory Agumons, maybe promote an Agunimon, do the ancient Greymon warp, analog youth, get the Digibubble back, play Lu, or Digivolve the Agumon that turns Marcus into a Tamer or into a Digimon, so you then tap Lu, tap analog, blah blah blah, promote new Agu turns Marcus into a Digimon, double attack, and you win game. I'm sure like that's already 4 checks just doing that mental math, right? So you just need to find 2 more hits throughout the game somewhere. I think you can do it. Pretty sick stuff. Congrats. I think did I say their place? It's 14th place. Peters. Really interesting list. I hope it's not like, as a blue hybrid ancient guru stand, it's kind of cool to see my counterpart do well or like that deck, right? Like I don't know, maybe I'm weird, maybe I'm just weird. And then we get to talk about the only Leviathan player, 13th place, Charles Woods username. Levia just is coming back, and it's like the dog pack. It's mostly the dog package we see do successful with the new Cerberusmon X, you know, Protoform, smorgasbord of, you know, just, you know, memory banking cards, I'm gonna call them lovingly. It's worth talking about. Maybe like memory blockers are worth coming back, or you know, stuff, man. Depends on how good purple comes back. But that being said, you know, we got a slightly bigger fish package, I like to call it, for this list, but pretty much the same stuff. One of Anubis, if you see it, it's still a busted card, so seeing one of it just is devastating for sure. No Calling of Darkness, just all gas, no brakes. Two of each Levia X option. 1 Ruin mode. 1 Ruin mode feels kind of low, especially if one ends up being security and you don't have the calling. So that's the only, like, maybe I would change that, but I don't like talking like that. This guy obviously did better than I ever did with a deck like this. But yeah, no, interesting. Lotmon being the one of Lotmon is always kind of fun to me to talk about in this deck, just because it's just like the one, it's just there. I kind of question it, like, well, like I get why it's there, but I also was like, why is it there? Like I don't know, like it's just cute that it's there. I don't know. So if there's like a big reason why it's there, I don't. On play, by trashing 1 card in your hand, one of your Digimon gets plus 3k. So it lets you swing over mothers, especially since it's a recyclable body. Now your Levia X can get all 3 its checks, or just be 17k, but it doesn't get over mother plus. Unfortunately, that doesn't get over mother plus tie. But maybe you're willing. I think it may be one of those things where you're willing. If they're willing to give up their mother, then you're stoked, right? Trade my level 6 for your mother, you're completely reset, and now I get to play the game. That's probably worth, it depends on so much. But anyway, I talked about this stuff for too long, and we get to talk. There's 2, no, this is 7 Demon Lords. We only have 1 7 Demon Lords. 11th place, Mr. Schmidt. This is probably the most interesting Demon Lord, no, I don't want to say interesting, the most changed Demon Lords list that we've seen in a minute. I guess interesting still works. I just don't like, it's not that the other lists aren't interesting, it's just this one's, you know, a little better, or a little more unique. The return of Raremon, this promo, especially since now we've got the reprint of this guy, more purple players just have access to this card without paying a dumb amount of money. Bandai, please improve promo situations. It's so annoying. Anyway, Raremon's back, and now we got Revelation of Light and Kari. Revelation of Light allowing us to play the Lucemon. Sometimes in the Demon Lords deck, like the Lucemon is a good card, right? And sometimes you don't ever get access to it if it's in security, and it just kind of gives you an extra. The Revelation of Light, if you do play it, you get access to an extra Lucemon that you wouldn't have had otherwise, which is really good, especially since, like, if it's there, oh my goodness, are you cooking that turn? Just you get the search, you get to end the turn, send something back, Digivolve into Lucemon Chaos Mode. You guys, if you guys play the deck or have played against the deck, you guys know what I'm talking about. Lucemon on board is a very scary thing, especially in towards the later parts of the game. And then to play the Kari, really cool. The biggest combo I see with this Kari is that if you have this Kari on board in particular, and you play the Revelation of Light will heal and go into security, be the top security. And with this Kari on board, Ancient Garuru actually has a hard time doing any checks, because now you have let's say you Ancient Garuru combo swing, you draw the top security, now Revelation is back in hand, Kari triggers because it's when an effect removes a card from your security stack, gives something -1, so you give the -1 to Ancient, now the Ancient doesn't get their check, and then they just Revelation of Light again, so they just kind of infinitely loop Revelation, so you need to find a way to like, it forces them to be weird, right? You attack, and then, because it's only when an effect removes security, not by like, if it's the normal security check, it's gone, homie. So it's just small interesting text there for playing against Ancient. That I find that interesting. I think most Demon Lord players, at least the ones I talk to, are like, why are you running Barbadon? Why are you running Lilithmon X? You are crazy. Lilithmon X being in here. And then I think the biggest blasphemy right now, like, is no Digimon Emperor. So Schmidt, right? Schmidt, why, if you can like address to the public why you weren't running any Digimon Emperors, because a lot of people swear by it. It's the draw engine, but you're playing Raremon, so kind of get it. I don't know. Personally, when I play against Demon Lords and you overplay Tamers, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm like, yo, sick, do stuff. But that's me. I'm a fool sometimes. No Digimon Emperor, I think, is the standout thing that like most people were like, how could you? But anyway, it's talking too much. Now we get to talk about 3 Imperials. This is 16th place War 52896. Long username. It's Imperial. It's the most representative deck. We're going to talk about, I think, 3 of them. Just notable mentions as always. There's not a lot to talk about, but there's always notable mentions. We are on the one of Wormmon. We've decided to include the both red VMons for, I imagine, the +2 KDP, allowing your sometimes your fighter modes to or even your dragon modes to attack over Mother, which is kind of relevant sometimes. They're just one-ofs, but sometimes you're against Mother control and you need to be bigger than 15. Sometimes you need to be bigger than 17, and the Imperial fighter, this BT12 fighter mode kind of clears us over if we have either 2 or even just one of them. We need one of the extra colors just to be there, just to be over 17, because Mother plus starter deck ties, the +2K is 17. It's tough, but sometimes as long as you're 17, the trading is kind of worth it. I mentioned that earlier. Hexplow also gets us over just because of Iceclad. Pretty good stuff. He's not a free though, right? No, he's just a data, so we don't get some like cheeky like piercing. But yeah, congrats, 16th place, War 52896. I feel like that's probably a reference to something, maybe not. No, congrats. Now we get to talk about Bruck Daddy, 10th place. The last list actually had the BT12 Paildramon. Bruck Daddy decided, nah, we're not playing that. And still no Magnamon X armor package, I find, is an interesting take. But the previous list didn't have that, right? No Magnamon X package for either of these decks, but we are on the 1 Gigadeath. We do have 3 Progenitor, starter deck, Dragon Mode, both these users on it. Iceclad, very mandatory. Not only playing 2 of the VMons, the red ones, playing 1 of the purple Wormmon, and then beyond that is pretty standard. Actually deciding to run a couple of the armors just so we can have a cleaner route to level 5. Playing, what do we have? 4, 8, 11 champions. Sorry, I don't know. Sometimes counting when you're trying to go think about going from Digimon to numbers is tough, man. I don't know what to tell you. Counting. But yeah, no, congrats, 10th place, Bruck Daddy. It's a good list. It's Imperial, man. It's Imperial. It's the most represented deck. It's gonna get tops when it's that represented, but I think people have moved on to knowing how to beat it. And actually, our last Imperial for the video is going to be 7th place, Dan Vang, winning another Imperial. This is probably another Omni for them, Dan Vang in particular. Not their first top. I think they last tournament was an Ulti Cup we talked about, so now we get to talk about Dan Bang getting another invite and potentially another Omni. I'm not sure if maybe this is their first Omni. I don't think this is their first Omni. So congrats on another Omni. A little more on the Hexblow, running 2 instead of the previous only one ofs. Again, Mother Control is a really good answer to this. You still get the access to partition if they do something funny, and then yeah, just kind of condensing the level 6 package, only playing Dragon mode BT16, playing Fighter mode BT16, and then again, pretty condensed package for level 4s, prioritizing playing more green sources than blue sources, I guess just because, no, actually playing more green sources than blue sources because we're on 6, 7 opposed to 6, just 6 blue sources. Interesting. I wonder why that is. I wonder why this is the particular ratio we're going for. Is this because we always want jamming, so we just try to find the green more often? Maybe some of the math for Davis, our BT2 or 3 Davis, kind of works in our favor in this way, so we can always find at least XV, and then we don't really care what our other green one is. Interesting stuff. Also on the purple Wormmon, and actually playing the promo Wormmon just to try to find more stuff. Makes sense. Gigadeath's still here, still a good card. Only 1 Paladin mode ace is something I always mention. Only 7 level 5s is probably another talking point, or 6 level 5s is another talking point I should mention, but yeah, good stuff. No, congrats Dan Bang on that. Then we get to talk about our one of Mirage player, Sean. Please say it's Sean. It's not Sheen, right? Or not, it's not Jimmy Neutron up in here. We're gonna say Sean Correra is your username. I do the same thing with my username. 6th place, Mirage. It's Mirage. We're playing a Paladin mode ace just to get tricky with it. Sometimes we want to sit on our floodgate and they try to get a little tricky, and then we just go bam, Paladin mode. So that's kind of cool. Beyond that, we're playing 3 Automamon, which I think most people aren't expecting nowadays, especially since I feel like the Demon Lord matchup might be the hardest matchup for you right now. I can, maybe I'm making that up, but the Automamon definitely like stops even some Ancient plays. Ancient can probably play around it, they just can't. This also gets Tamers, so they won't be playing their Tamers for free, which is annoying to them. But beyond that, definitely the Demon Lords matchup. He exists for the Demon Lords matchup. I'm sure there's one more deck that I'm not thinking of, but it's mostly Demon Lords, let's be real. Congrats. I mean, it's Ancient, we're playing the fish, or it's Mirage, we're playing the fish, we're playing 4 Digibubbles. This is why you guys always should be shuffling people's Digibubbles, just in case. Not saying anything weird, but just even if they're on 4 Digibubbles, it's an online tournament, please, or it's just shuffle people's Digibubbles game 1, and then after you know they're not Mirage, then move on. But yeah, no, 6 Tamers, maxing out on our memory bank options. That goes hard. I feel like they don't normally do this. No security bombs. Our only line of defense is Zudo plus Paladin mode, which Paladin mode is like not really a defense sometimes, honestly. That being said, congrats on 6th place. You got 1 tie and 1 loss. So it's good stuff, but it's Mirage. It's Mirage, man. It is what it is. Then we get to talk about 3 Ancients, Garus. I love Ancient Garu. I'm sorry, I'm a simp. Red base does well. This is 15th place. It's Jason. Yeah, playing one of the jamming Kendos from BT7. It's a bit of a weird card. I think it digivolves on any tamer, but if it's Koji, you get jamming, or if you have a hybrid source, you get jamming, so you can do some weird draw shenanigans when you evo on your force for 1. After that, it's red base. We're playing 2 of the Flamemon instead of like an additional floodgate like a Solarmon or something. That's kind of interesting. Still playing 2 Boko to just play rookies and search. Ice Wall, Hammer Spark to be security defensive, or just kind of, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're playing decks that need to attack a lot. Ice Wall gets us there. Guardian Ancient DD, playing 3 of it. 2 Crimson Blaze, 2 Heaven's Judgment, 2 Analog Youth, 1 Lu. I kind of agree with all this bottom end. The only thing maybe I'm like, that's weird, is not an extra, some kind of extra protection. Maybe some 7s, a Death Exe, or a Ruin mode is weird. No Ruin mode is like, oh, that's interesting. But beyond that, no. Only 2 5s. Also kind of weird, but hey, sometimes. It got them there, man. 16th place, congrats on your... No. 15th place, congrats on your invite. Then we get to talk about... And then playing the Digimon instead of Yokomon. Now we get to talk about the blue base that topped. The Dobble, 5th place, Ancient Garuru blue base. I'm always a sucker for blue base. I love to see it do well. I feel like... let's just break it down. Playing one of the Hyarimon, I like the Hyarimon. It's a good card. If your opponent has Digimon with no Digivolution cards, has no Digimon with Digivolution cards. So when attacking, wait, is this just worse Upamon then? If your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards. So it's like sometimes better than Upo. There's this weird balance, right? Because it's like, Upa, I'm sorry. So if they have no Digimon on board, now I get to draw with my Hyarimon, which is kind of good. So turn 1, this is like a better Upamon most of the time. And then there's like this mid-game board state where like if they have a Digimon with no source, but a Digimon with sources, Upamon's better. And then there's like maybe a late game scenario where you've stripped everything and then Upamon and the Hyari and Upamon are the same thing. So it's like definitely, it's like an early game Upamon, which is interesting. I don't know where else to go from that. That's just kind of interesting. 3 Lobomon promo to just make sure we're hitting. We got 8. We got so many rookies. Honestly, we got 13 rookies that can Digivolve in the back. That's kind of a lot, I feel, but Only 2 Beowulf, also an interesting take. And then beyond that, 2 Shine. I love the 2 Shine, especially since there's sometimes where you just -10 a whole board. It's probably one of the biggest answers to Imperials being able to do this. It's just with the 2 memory boosts plus Hammer Spark plus Lu, you could probably find yourself in situations where you do full Ancient combo and get to Shine Greymon them. There are even probably times where you just promote, so get set to 3, promo Lobo into Ancient, do some stuff, maybe you still live, and then you just ruin mode on top of that for 5, kind of a lot, but sometimes when you -10 on board, they don't get to play the game anyway. The biggest thing, please, someone explain to me, I'm trying to, I like the card. I like Full Metal Blaze. I played it in Nats, way back in January, February. I was always like, this card is kind of good, but right now I'm like, with Imperial being somewhere between 20% of the meta, why this card? What is it about this card that does it for people? I don't know, man. Like, if they attack you with 5s, this card does nothing, and it's just so hard. I wish I understood this card, man. The fact that it misses on 5s, it just doesn't touch 5s at all. Just what deck in the meta is making this card good? That's what I want to know. Someone tell me. I'm too fried most of the time to understand. Or maybe the Dobble. Just tell me why Full Metal Blaze? Why is it working for you? Tell me, because I just feel like it does nothing against Imperial. That's it. I feel like it does nothing into Imperial. Maybe it's like I'm just thinking wrong about it. Maybe you're supposed to just bounce their 5, play, or bounce their 6 or 5, and then you Full Metal Blaze the rest of the board. But now you're just giving them 8 most of the time. I don't know. Someone explain it to me, please, because the brain doesn't get there for me. But otherwise, really good list. Cutting on one of the unblockable Kojis feels risky, but once you see one, the deck kind of gets to its second, and that's all you really need, especially with Gomamon in a world where all these blockers exist. Anyway, the Hyarimon, kind of interesting. Again, it's like an early game Upamon. Then we get to talk about our best performing Ancient Guru, Red Joker.exe. Kind of more of the same. Instead of the Flamemon, we're on Solarmon. We are actually on the Yokomon instead of Digimon. No backup level 4s. We're just running our 8 and calling it a day. Playing 3 level 5s, just one of each, and just hope you just draw them like a toolbox. Actually, the return of Gravity Crush, Ice Wall, Hammer Spark, all our little memory things that we can play. One of Ruin Mode. I like Ruin Mode. I don't know what to tell people. 1 Heaven's Judgment, 1 Full Moon Meteor Impact. 2 Crimson Blaze I really like. I wish there was a way to just cheat out like a -2k DP somewhere so you can Crimson Blaze all Imperial level 5 and laugh, I say. After that, Ancient Guardian 2 Ancient Guardian Deity, and then 8 Kojis, 2 Emperors, 1 Lu. It got us there. Yeah, only 2 Muchomons. Okay, so we had to cut Muchomons to actually fill in some of these options situations. Interesting. Anyway, congrats, Red Joker Exe on 4th place, Ancient Garuru. Then we get to talk about Dexter Rugamon, another Miami homie. That sounds so weird. Benny Maru playing the Black Base, playing their own like they've been building this deck for a while. There's a friend of mine playing the Tomori. This is like the first time we see Tomo Nori Ryu Senji. Yeah, it lets you let's go over the card because I think this is the first time we see this card actually in a topping list. Your turn, when an effect plays a Tamer in one of your Digimon's Digivolution cards, by suspending this Tamer, gain 1 memory. So this is all the time, right? Like Mind Link is a thing. Wait, no, hold on, sorry. No, I'm thinking backwards. I'm so backwards right now, sorry. When an effect places a Tamer in one of your Digimon's Digivolution cards, by suspending this Tamer, gain 1 memory. So just normal Mind Link shenanigans. I'm still right. You get, during your turn, you get this end of opponent's turn, or yeah, end of opponent's turn once per turn. If this Tamer is suspended, one of your Digimon with a Tamer card in its Digivolution cards may Digivolve into a Digimon with Dex or Death Exe in its name. It's just a cool way to get extra memory, and sometimes the Death Exe, like we're not even running Death Exe, so like there's a world where, and you probably don't get the end of turn effect a lot, but sometimes your opponent's just like kind of weird. Maybe you're on the Doro Greymon, then you Digivolve into Doro Goromon, and then like they try to like dodge it somehow, so you just go Death Exe anyway, or Dex Dorugamon anyway, and you just completely clap them on their turn or something weird like that. That being said, it's Black Base. I want to say this is a little more unique compared to the commonly known Ben version. Like, it's cool to see the deck do well. This Agumon is way better than people think. It does a lot for the deck, I feel, surprisingly. As long as if you see Kotsuke, this Agumon is insane. If you don't see Kotsuke, which is the whole struggle with Black Base, if I see my Tamers, I do well. If I don't see my Tamers, we're crying, and we're crying a lot. Playing one of the Mega Gargomons, and then beyond that, Ruin Mode is always interesting, but cheeky. The only thing I always debate on this guy is, like, do we really need this Doro Greymon? I feel like this Doro Greymon just like hates you more often than anything else. Beyond that, because it's not an SOC, man. I feel like it being not an SOC kind of hurts the deck more than anything. Anyway, you did well. Players can reduce play cost. We did play a Floodgate because why not? Beyond that, congrats. One of the deck's Doro Greymons, level 5s. I don't like it, but we're playing it. Oh, I'm running out of breath today. That's crazy. Then we get to talk about Purple Base. Purple Base did a little better. IDBW 2nd place, Dexter Rugalist, Purple Base. Purple Base, I feel like, is probably the more solved of all the lists. Finding time to actually play one of the Yujis, because all our stuff is still X anybody minus Tyrannomon. But Tyrannomon, you're never Digivolving, let's be real. And actually also playing the one of Doro Grey, the banned one, the limited one. And then beyond that's kind of the same. Honestly, like, instead of, like, you can kind of like replace, like, it's Purple Base, so there's like certain Purple Base cards that we're running, but beyond, like, this is running Airdramon instead of, you know, Tyrannomon. And then we get to play Seraphimon because it's a Sephirothmon, because it's a little better for what we're trying to do in Black Base. We have Black Tamers. And then yeah, that's interesting. And then we get to play Hell Lugamon instead of like spoilers. Well, it's just interesting stuff. And then Mega Gargomon. I mean, technically both lists could run Mega Gargomon, unless no, Hell Luga is never a thing. So that's interesting. But it does give you room to play Purple Memboo's Wisdom Trainings. Just extra access to finding AG, and then this Lugamon, even if you trash the AG, you still get to use it. So like finding our Tamers is infinitely easier in Purple Base. That will always be the debate. Beyond that, we get to talk about, and let's just, I'm out of breath. Ugh. Third place, Wolf Brigade. Lugamon, purple. We get 2 Lugamons this time, which is interesting, and we're playing pure dog Lugamon, man. We get to play, we're not playing any of the Doru Greymon level 4s, Doru Goromon level 4s. We're just pure red Lugarmon, red Solugarmon, purple Solugarmon. And this is great because like I have the national, a playset of the national ones, and I don't get to run it because we have to play Dorumons and Dorugamons, whatever. And now you're proving to me that, you know what, the normal just dogs work. So beyond that, I love to see the list. 5 AGs seems to be the standard for Lugamons. 4 Analog Youth also seems to be the standard. 2 Demon Castle of the 9 Wolves. The Demon Wolf of the 9 Castles of the Wild. 3 Wisdom Trainings. And then 3 Helugamon. Kind of goes in. Kind of cool. I don't know. I'm losing my breath for this one. So let's talk about our champion, Popcorn Possum, playing the Dorugamon package. You went. So this was X1. Our first place went X1, so they did lose somewhere. So I guess technically it's not our like full-on champion, but you know it's Digimon. You came out first place. It's just you didn't go undefeated. So you still lost one. So we still don't have an undefeated Fenrir Lugamon winning a tournament. Maybe I'm forgetting one, and I don't know what I'm talking about this, but I'm like, I don't know why I'm gone right now. Where am I? Calling of Darkness in this deck is actually kind of interesting, especially since this Soul Lugamon is on all turns effect to digivolve into a Lugamon. So you could calling return nothing. I guess maybe you return something anyway, but you can return nothing, and then the Soul Lugamon, as long as you deleted an SOC, you can Soul Lugamon full combo from there. If I don't know, for some reason you just needed a piece somewhere. I'm not really sure. Like, I like the idea of being able to trigger your own Soul Lugamon. That's really cool. And then calling also gives you kind of like a little longevity, like an extra turn of longevity. Like you get to recycle. Like kind of like how Fangmon used to be really good for recycling. You get to Calling of Darkness. Actually on 2 Mist Memory Boosts instead of trainings. 1 Demon Castle full, 4 Analog Use, 5 AGs, because 5 AGs is the standard. Skull Beluchimon, I wish I picked up the pre-release ones, but it looks like you're mainstay in Lugamon right now. That being said, congrats, Popcorn Possums. I don't know why I'm losing my energy for this, but congrats. Like, share, subscribe. Eggman events, we're always here, we're always covering. I'm glad Tessero and Hong, great stream. I hope to work with you. I hope you guys do more. I hope more people get into commentating, and production particularly is really important. So like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time.